Good afternoon. My name is Gordon Weeks. I'm the public defender. I am representing the defense team. And I first like to start off by acknowledging the efforts of the juror that was seated in this case. You know, it is a solemn responsibility to be called and to serve as a juror. And for this jury to stand firm to their oath and their commitment, to hear all the evidence, to weigh it carefully, and to render a verdict is very important. It's more important that we as a community respect the jury's verdict and recognize that the jury's verdict is final. This is the system that we all cherish, that we all abide by, and supported by our Constitution. I would also hope that this day is not a day of celebration, but a day of solemn acknowledgement and a solemn opportunity to reflect on the healing that is necessary for this community. The healing of the trauma that occurred on Valentine's Day, February the 14th, the healing of the loss of those families, and the recognition that there is nothing that will ever bring back that pain. But I want everyone in this community to recognize that this team appreciates, respects, and understands their loss. And with the greatest bit of sympathy, we attempted to prepare this case and present this case in the most professional and legal manner that we could. And in closing, just recognize that, you know, I have to give great respect and acknowledgement to those folks that worked this case, that dedicated their time and their efforts and their professional skills to this matter. So with that, I hope that we as a community can respect the verdict that was rendered, respect the process that was had, and understand that those jurors have spoken. And as a community, we can now begin the process of healing. Thank you.
You had, at the end of the end of the court today, you said that the decision was final. The prosecution was hinting that there may be another step that they maybe convince the judge to issue another sentence. Can you explain what is going on there? Do you consider this the jury verdict to be final, even though sentencing is now on until November 1st?
For process purposes, the jury's verdict is final. However, in the state of Florida, victims have a constitutional right to be heard at every stage in the proceeding, and the court is going to respect that right and give them an opportunity to be heard. And we appreciate that, and we recognize that, and that should be followed. However, we have to also recognize that the jurors in this case sat through a number of days of very, very difficult, traumatic evidence, and they heard it all, and they weighed it all, and they rendered a verdict. And we have to respect that. Thank you very kindly.
Where will Nick Cruz be serving his sentence, sir? Where will he go?
He will be taken into the custody of the Department of Corrections very shortly after being sentenced. He will then be transferred likely to the South Florida Reception Center, processed into the prison system, and then eventually assigned a prison where he will remain for the rest of his life without the possibility of parole.
Did Nicholas Cruz have a reaction today? Does he understand what happened today?
No further questions, thank you.
Will you be requesting that he be segregated from the rest of the prison population?